All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly divine the word in truth and sincerity. And Shalom to you believers out there, the Aki and Wa Akwathium. So what I want to get into is the war drums is beating, man. All right. And I got a couple scriptures. Couple scriptures I got queued up. Hold on, bear with me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, so I got a couple scriptures and videos I'm gonna be playing. All right, because you already know that the scriptures, all right, prophesied of these things. All right, declaring the end from the beginning. All right, matter of fact, let's get that. I went too many L's. All right, yep, that's Isaiah 46:10. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. I don't know if y'all can hear that. The people next door is just thumping and bumping. Salaki, if you can hear that. All right, verse 10 again, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. And yeah, as soon as I bring out the scriptures, these little demons next door, they get to rousing up, man. All right, but see, declaring the end from the beginning, okay? So it was already prophesied that these things that will be taking place that are happening. Okay, let's go to it. And this is how you know we're in the latter days. We're getting closer and closer to the end. Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, I'm gonna start at 2. I'm gonna start at 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. And we already know that what the prophecies are speaking every day, okay? And not lie, all right? Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, man. All right. And like, again, you got the war drums, man. And let's get into that. Now, when you go to Mark chapter 13, okay, starting at verse 5, it says, and Yahweh Shai answering them began to say, take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. Verse 7, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. So we're in the beginning of sorrows, as the wars looming. World War III is looming, I should say. Okay, you got Putin, who just annexed 4 territories in Ukraine. Now they're basically Russia. Okay, you got U.S. not too happy about that, as well as Ukraine promising that they're going to get their cities back. They're going to get their territories back. Okay, now you just had North Korea, who test the missiles over Japan, closer than it's ever been. I'm going to get into that video. But then what just came in is U.S. and South Korea test fire some missiles in response. Okay, so you got all of these things looming. Okay, and then I got a video as well. I'm gonna get into. I got a couple videos. So listen, I just wanted to bring those scriptures out to set the tone. So the first thing I want to do is get into this one right here. All right.
Use your voice. Use your power. Vote.
All right.
3 reasons to ditch your grocery store body wash.
Dr. Squatch is a high-quality soap made with men.
All right, this lady Lisa Haven, she do pretty good videos. And it says, NATO panics. Putin just made a major wartime maneuver. U.S. nuclear forces on high alert. All right. I'm going to kind of let this play. Let me see.
Well, NATO has just issued a warning that we are in grave danger as Russia's Vladimir Putin has deployed the world's largest torpedo submarine. Take a look at what I'm talking about here, and I found this on the sun.co.uk. Deep strike, NATO warning as Putin deploys world's biggest submarine, which can be armed with terrifying nuclear apocalyptic drones. And this was just published on October 3rd. The article states, Vladimir Putin has deployed the world's biggest submarine, which can be armed with terrifying nuclear apocalypse drone torpedoes, NATO has repeatedly warned. As the tyrant edges the world into the most dangerous moment since his shambolic Ukraine invasion, there are fears Russia's giant nuclear-capable torpedo is now on the warpath. It goes on, the powerful K-329 Belgorod can reportedly trigger radioactive tsunamis and wipe out enemy coastlines with its
Now you hear that? It says it can cause tsunamis. All right. And wipe out enemy coastlines with its underwater drone torpedo Poseidon. All right. So this is something that Russia has got. I think I've been had heard about this, but hey, this is what's going on, man. Because in the scriptures as well, what it talks about. Matter of fact, let me get it. Let me get it real quick. Bear with me. I had to go to the other room so I can hear less commotion from next door, man. Let me see. Now, when you go to all right, when you go to Isaiah 13, all right. I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. All right. And I might come back to that because, you're going to hear her and, talk about peace, but it's not going to be peace because the Lord is stirring these things up. All right. Verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, man. So, these, verse 6, how ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Okay. And see, these weapons that Russia and USA and all of these, countries that got nuclear capability, basically it's the Lord's weapons of indignation. Okay. His judgment. All right.
Water drone torpedo Poseidon. But NATO has now sent a chilling warning to its member nations about the location of the 14,700-ton war machine, La Repubblica reports. The Belgorod is currently said to be submerged in Arctic waters, and it's feared that Putin will use the mission to test the weapon for the first time. Putin vowed to use any means to defend the 4 Ukrainian regions annexed to Russia as he ramps up his nuclear threats and his invasion enters an unpredictable new phase. NATO has already issued a chilling nuclear war warning after Putin's deranged speech last week. Jens Stoltenberg, who heads the Western Military Alliance, said Putin's move to make 4 regions of Ukraine part of Russia has brought the world one step closer to nuclear Armageddon. Those are not my words. Those are the words of the head of the Western Military Alliance, and downright chilling. Now, NATO has also issued warnings about this particular submarine in the Arctic. And by the way, here's some pictures of the submarine there that I just want to have you take a glance at. And here's what they're calling.
And you see, city killer. All right, Russia's new Belgorod submarines is the world's biggest and has compartments to launch mini subs and undersea drones. All right, and this is what Russia is holding on to. All right, Poseidon nuclear drone torpedoes, as you can see. All right, this is it right here. It's 603 feet. It weighs 30 tons. Range unlimited. Speed 32 knots. I have to look up what that is. All right, if a brother know about that, you can post it in the comment. But yeah, this is it. You see, and it's able to cause tsunamis, man. All right, all right.
The city killer. Russia's new Belgorod submarine is the world's biggest and has compartments to launch mini subs and undersea drones. And as this article states, it is fully capable of causing tsunamis that can completely devastate our shorelines. I don't know about you, but it seems that things are right now escalating. And the bad part is that Joe Biden, who is surrounded by warmongers like Ron Klein and many others, is not trying to de-escalate this. In fact,
he's not trying to de-escalate because what? Isaiah 13 and 5, Salakia number 4, when you read down, it says, the Lord of hosts mustereth the host of battle. All right. And I can as well, let me see. Let's go into that. Let's go into mustereth real fast. All right, what was that, verse 4? Let's go into that word mustard for edification's sake. All right, so when you go, when you look at A, all right, and you go down to Roman numeral 8, it says to appoint, assign, lay upon as a charge. See? So the Lord is assigning, and we're going to get more into that because you can go into Joel about that as well. So you see, to lay upon as a charge, man. All right. When you go down to C, it says what? To muster, call up. All right. To be appointed. See, Roman numeral, what's that, 4 under B? All right. So the Lord is calling them up, man. That's why you don't hear these talks of peace and Biden is not backing down. Putin is not backing down, okay? The Lord mustereth the host of the battle. See?
He's making things worse by continually sending money and arms to the Ukrainian region and even calling for, some kind of NATO agreement with Ukraine. This is not what we want. Millions and millions upon millions of people have died in prior wars, and yet it seems that things are doing nothing but escalating. Take a look at what I'm talking about here. Here's this Zero Hedge article. And the United States has said that they would lead a NATO to take out every Russia conventional force if Putin decides to use nukes in Ukraine, says our General Petraeus. The article goes on. Retired general and former director of the CIA, David Petraeus, said it is his belief that if Russian President Vladimir Putin used nuclear weapons against Ukraine, the U.S. would quickly intervene to take out Russian forces. He emphasized, too, that Washington would lead the way among the collective NATO response. Now, here's his actual quote. Quote, and what would happen? Show co-anchor Jonathan Karl asked the former CIA chiefs. And here's what he said. Well, again, I have deliberately not talked to Jake about this. I mean, just to give you a hypothetical, we would respond by leading a NATO, a collective effort that would take out every Russia conventional force that we can see and identify on the battlefield in Ukraine and also in Crimea and every ship in the Black Sea, Petraeus responded. Now, let me just hit the pause button right there, because here's what I have to say. I don't believe we should be giving away any of our cards on what we might do or think we might do, because some other country could take that as an open door to respond. I mean, I don't want an all-out nuclear war, and of course nobody wants to see...
You see, she don't understand that this is biblical prophecy, man. It will be an all-out nuclear war. And that's why nobody's gonna back down. Let's get it. When you go to Joel chapter 3, starting at the top, it says, "For behold, in those days, and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat," okay, Yehoshaphat, "and will plead with them. Therefore, my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations," Deuteronomy 28, "and parted my land." See? All right. Now, when you jump down to verse 9, it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles." All right. Prepare war. And these Gentiles is not talking about foreigners, Israelites in a Gentile state of mind. It's talking about natural Gentiles. All right, verse 9, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up." See? Let them come up. All right. "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So let the weak say, I am strong." See? And this is why you have all of these nations such as North Korea, South Korea, all these little nations like North Korea, they test firing missiles. All right. Let the weak say I'm strong. You got even Russia basically, not backing down. Okay. It's because in America heyday, nobody would come up against it. All right. But see, now you actually have nations such as Russia, okay, and basically the BRICS nations, all right, and we already know that the 10 horns gonna go against the whore, okay, but see, you have these little nations now; they have nuclear capability as well, all right, see. Verse 11, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened." See, everybody up. All right. This is why every day you hearing something about some war. All right. The wars and the rumors of wars. All right. "And come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." The Lord is going to gather all these nations, all their military, and judge them right then and there and take them out. Wow. Bang. "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe." See? "Come, get you down, For the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. Okay. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. And just for edification's sake, all right, because it pretty much stated it, but let's get it. Let's just get Jehoshaphat for edification's sake. All right. That's supposed to be Yahweh, where it say Jehovah. Okay. Yahweh has judged. See? That's where all these nations, and when you go down to F, it says symbolical name of a valley near Jerusalem, which is the place of ultimate judgment. Okay. Maybe the deep ravine which separates Jerusalem from the Mount of Olives, through which the Kidron followed. But this is where all the nations, these heathens, gonna get judged. The Lord stating it clearly. It's plain right here, plain upon tables. All right. So it ain't gonna be no peace, what she's going into. All right. The scriptures is undefeated. The Lord spoken, and hey, things gonna start happening.
Nuclear escalation of any type, but either way, I think there should at least be some flexing of muscles saying, hey, we're going to respond nuke on nuke or something like that, regardless of the fact if they do or not, at least to de-escalate it at some level. But bottom line, I don't see any kind of discussions on peace negotiations.
And you're not going to see no discussions, all right? Even if you do see any type of discussions, it won't last, man. Okay, this is prophecy again.
From any party, from NATO to Ukraine,
it's prophecy
to Russia,
for World War III to kick off. Okay, not for peace.
To the United States of America, it seems that they are escalating this kind of they're escalating.
And that's pretty much the point on her video that I want to get. All right, so the next video I want to get, let me see if I want to get this redacted. All right. Because even
just
on
open
redacted,
the fridge.
I like their
Prices
videos
are up
as well.
a lot. The result of reckless policies of Senator Warnock and his allies.
Now, check this out. Let me see something. Let me drop it down.
It's gotten even worse.
All right, so let me go back because I was watching it. All right, as you can see, the title, it says, oh shit, Putin hasn't even started the war yet, and NATO knows it. All right, let's get right to it.
Welcome into Redacted. Guess who's back?
I'm back. And guess who is having a 1 year grown in that 1 year?
Who can't grow in the face of facts? I grow every day. When I'm reading news, I'm like
Push myself to research super great
just
that
getting
they
to
found
the
on my
point,
own
y'all.
channel, like a demo reel, and they're like, some
our 10-year-old girl was sick.
laws around here.
Hey, did you fire mommy from the show? So we do have a date, not .com. Just put in your email address for a glitch because we have almost redacted new board. So if you subscribe during the live show,
because we love getting to know who you
for you, which is, I'd like to propose the idea here that perhaps the war in Ukraine hasn't even started yet. Think about that for a minute. Like we've been told, of course, the past 7 to 8 months since February, when this war or invasion of the Donbass region actually started, that's the real start of the war. But what if it hasn't started at all? I'm just going to let it hang out there for a second. Let it hang out there like a dangling participle. And you guys let me know in the chat if you think it's actually started or if it's about to. We'll come back to this in a moment. But first, American cities.
Now, what they mean by that is basically all the fighting that Ukraine and Russia been doing. Putin hasn't opened his real armory on Ukraine because, see, if Putin really just wanted to destroy the Ukraine and really kind of take it in a certain way, he could do that. All right. But he's, doing it little by little. He, I heard somebody say, he basically got, his his third stream out there. Okay? So that's what they going into. All right. So, while Ukraine is thinking they, doing something, Russia basically is not really, basically fighting them with one hand tied behind their back. All right.
Preparing.
But you see the common theme of all of these videos is war, 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 war. See? All right. That's why I went into that mark, because the war rumors of wars, man, is louder than ever. Okay. And not just, war between two countries. It's World War III is in the talks. It's not like back when it was just like, oh, the U.S. and Afghanistan or, this country. No, it's talks of World War III, that third woe. All right.
Or a nuclear war. Now, if you're traveling on the subway in New York City, or you're in Los Angeles, or you're in San Francisco on the BART system, you may have noticed, if you're in New Jersey on the train stations, you might have noticed that there are nuclear preparedness signs popping up. So take a look at this on your screen.
And I did a video, and I know other brothers as well did a video on these signs. All right. Which they gonna go into how to protect yourself in a nuclear blast, man. And it's just utterly ridiculous. All right.
Says here, radiation emergencies, what should you do? Get inside. Now, this was all over Reddit yesterday. People are like, I can't believe these are popping up all over the place. Philip, I know how much you love Reddit. I don't know if you saw this on Reddit.
And just the fact that, they're popping up everywhere, it lets you know what time we in. Okay?
Today, but
I did not. I actually didn't do as much Redditing as usual yesterday. So
see, and you feel and you sound happier, to be honest with you.
I'm so much happier.
So this is what you would have seen on Reddit yesterday. Get inside is the first little picture. Stay inside is the second picture. And I love that they've got in this little picture there's a picture of a guy with a dog too. Like, get inside, stay inside. And third is stay tuned. Like, stay tuned to the radio or your favorite television station for the very latest.
That's a very confusing graphic. I was like, what is that?
It's a guy just watching TV like a drone, like just sitting there with its back.
Oh, that's a person?
That's a person listening to a radio, just like with their back to us at the very bottom of the screen.
That's terrible graphic. I thought it was a spray bottle in a temple.
At a temple. Yeah. So, of course, this is all a lie. We would be wiped off the map. You wouldn't be able to stay inside, right? You wouldn't be able to stay inside and be tuned to the radio. There'd be no radio at all. There'd be no television stations. It would all be wiped away, especially if this happened in like the New York City metro area.
Of course.
It would be destroyed. It's the same lie they told us in the 1950s, right? The ridiculous duck and cover advertisements. Remember?
So I'm just kind of letting this play because I want y'all to get this good laugh. All right. And then I'm going to play a video showing basically what had happened in the event of, a nuke hitting New York City or a town, okay? Because this is funny when they put these little, back in the day, they had those little, I guess, commercials, videos, and even now posting these little things about just go in, shower off, watch TV, like, like these nukes is gonna hit. And everything gonna be all good. It's a good little laugh. So I'm gonna let y'all get it.
Yes.
A better night's sleep starts with the Casper Nova Hybrid mattress. With enhanced hybrid support.
He did what we all must learn to do. You and you and you and you. Duck and cover.
Yeah, that'll help you, right? That'll help you. Sammy the turtle or whatever his name is, duck and cover. So what happens though if you get covered in radiation? Right? And from the nuclear bomb. You're inside now sitting with your dog listening to the radio covered in radiation. Just have mommy wipe off some of the radiation with some soap, right? Watch.
You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could burn you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially where you're not covered.
Oh.
Now, you and I don't have shells to crawl into like Bert the Turtle, so we have to cover up in our own way. First, you duck, and then you cover. And very tightly, you cover the back of your neck and your face.
That'll save us all.
Duck and...
Yeah, that'll save...
So, ducking and cover. That's why my man Clayton was being facetious, like that'll save us all, because that's that's absolutely insane. If you think that's gonna help you in a nuclear, blast, plus this one, okay, where this is biblical prophecy far as destroying Babylon the Great. All right. So everybody gonna get destroyed, basically, save the elect. All right. And you gonna have, certain of the elites, and people have their bunkers that's gonna be set up to be the first fruits of slaves. Okay. But man, come on now.
Us all. So NATO is really excited about launching a nuclear war. You might have seen this all weekend. It's continuing to unfold. And since our show last night, it's gotten even worse. They want to keep pushing the idea that Putin is about to launch nuclear weapons. These drum beats have gotten louder since our last night's show. And just look at what the Western press is saying this morning. Russian nuclear sub disappears armed with doomsday weapon. So, of course, NATO wants Putin to use some sort of tactical nuclear weapon. It will give them all the excuse they need to launch a full-scale attack of Russia. And here's another news report. It says experts. Here's more proof of that. This article says, if Putin uses nukes, U.S. could wipe out Russian forces in Ukraine. Oh, so you want this to happen, basically. Here's an expert saying this. We want this to happen. The expert cited in the article actually says this. Also acknowledged, he says, that such a direct U.S. or NATO military strike against the Russian military, even in response to the Russian use of tactical nuclear weapons on the battlefield, could spiral out of control.
That's not what you want to hear from experts.
Man,
that we will not.
And with nothing but war talk, man. All right. Joel 2, starting at the top. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Okay? A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as a garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Okay? You see what I'm saying? And this is Joel 2, 3, you got Jeremiah 50, basically going into war, man. Okay? In the talks of Russia. Matter of fact, I'm going to say that for later. When you go into it, because Russia, U.S., Russia. That's all you keep hearing, right? Well, let me get it. All right. Ezekiel 38, it says at the top, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, see, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's where you get the BRICS nations. You got India, okay. You got India, South America, China, okay. I think they lead with Iran, okay, which goes into the Persians, Ethiopia, Libya. See, this is biblical prophecy. All right, biblical prophecy. And when let me see. When you jump down to verse 10, it says, "Thus said the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go to the land of unwalled villages." All right. And that's basically speaking about America. Okay. Because in antiquity, you had, a city would have walls built up to fortify it for its defense. And basically, America is just open season. "And I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates." See, and America is at rest basically because America, that's why it's called the virgin daughter. Okay, because America has never been penetrated like these other countries by war. All right. Now, when you go into 9/11, that was basically an inside job, okay, done by our government. All right. But see, when Russia come through with them nukes, man, and tear up, you know what I'm saying, along with other countries, okay, see, that's going to the land because, Russia going to keep coming west. All right. Because the whole thing in Ukraine was going to be United States. They didn't want it to be a NATO country, and they wanted to, have weaponry, and that would basically be at Russia's front door, man. If they arm Ukraine, even put Ukraine in NATO and then arm them with certain artillery, but that's why Russia had to go up in there, basically, all right, and be like, nah, y'all ain't doing that. Calm down, okay? And so now Russia is going to just basically keep coming west. All right. And that's why, basically the primary target of Russia is what? The United States. Because, see, Russia can just take Europe out. They through. You know what I'm saying? But U.S. is going to be the country that's going to be, those are going to be the two big dogs that's going to be going at war. Because, USA, we got a strong military. That's the only reason why people don't come against us. All right. Because our military might. That sword. Basically, Russia and America, all of them is Edomites. So that's why they all got the blessing, okay, of the sword. Okay, because if Russia and the United States came together, they could take over China, India. They can have basically all the rest of these countries and as vassals. If U.S. and Russia was like, all right, well, let's split up China. It wouldn't be nothing China can do. You know what I'm saying? Let's take India. Let's take Saudi Arabia. All of these countries. Let's take Africa. It wouldn't be nothing. Well, they already basically got Africa under their thumb, basically. But because I think Africa might be split up between the Brits and France, if I'm not mistaken. A brother could correct me on the comment board. But basically, if they just wanted to do that, if U.S. and Russia and all the European nations, all the Edomites came together and put their military might together and just was like, we going to go for global domination, they could do it, which basically they really got it. But see, that's that iron mixed with that clay because they ain't all mixed in together. All right. They ain't all on one accord. All right. And that's biblical prophecy that they ain't all on one accord. OK, so let me get back to the video.
Be able to control this once the whatever is out of the barn.
But also it's obvious. Yes, of course. It would spiral out of control. So you want Putin to launch a tactical nuclear weapon in Ukraine so that then that's just one little nuclear bomb. It's contained. And now we have a full-scale NATO invasion or just destruction of Russia. Like that's what you want.
Keep, wanting to go to peace, but it's not going to be so. Like I said, even if somewhere in there you hear about peace, it won't last because this is biblical prophecy. So this is basically what I really want to get on this video. Now, you've seen the video of how of they talking about duck and cover and take a shower and this and that. So I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna just really let this kind of play.
The only side chicks I've seen that look better than me
18 minutes long.
are these right here.
Y'all just kind of sit back. All right. It's really good on information.
Power plants will make
All right, so I'm going to just kind of let this play. The title is, What If a Nuclear Bomb Hits New York Tomorrow? All right, you can see the title right there. You can see the page, Destiny. You want to follow that page. All right, I'm going to kind of let this play. And it's going to let you know some things. So, all right.
The famous doomsday clock shows 100 seconds before the apocalypse. And it won't happen because of some higher power, but upon the initiative of a human being. We've never come so close to the edge of the abyss, nuclear war. One more step, and the history of mankind is over. And unfortunately, current world problems, personal ambitions of some politicians, and a lack of desire to seek compromises between governments can make this last fatal step real. And then, the Earth will face the Third World Nuclear War, in which there will be no winners. Imagine that someone pressed the red button and nuclear missiles got in the air. We will show you that humanity would stand no chance.
No chance. See?
To understand what nuclear war means, let's take a look at the power of nuclear weapons and...
Now you see Russia, Alaska, of course, because they're part of the United States. You got India. I wish I can blow it up. Okay. And you have, let me get my, I can't even see those little countries over there. They got nuclear capability. I believe that might be France, the United Kingdom, okay? And then you have, is that Pakistan? All right. India have it. I think that might be Pakistan. Let me see something. Just bear with me 1 second. I think that's Pakistan. So, you know, I believe the Korea's got them too. South Korea, I don't know. Yeah, South Korea, North Korea, I believe they have those missiles as well. But as you can see, man, okay.
There's stockpiles in different countries. There are two different types of genres of nuclear weapons. Strategic nuclear weapons are the big ones that are pointed at certain targets and are launched on intercontinental ballistic missiles and submarine and cruise missiles. Tactical nuclear weapons are non-strategic and are used in smaller, more mobile applications. They work based on the fission of uranium or plutonium nuclei and are generally smaller in explosive power. These types of weapons include gravity bombs.
And when it goes to the uranium, I believe Kazakhstan have a lot of uranium. All right. And it was something going on with Kazakhstan, the U.S. and Russia and things of that nature. All right.
Short-range missiles, artillery shells, depth charges, landmines, and some small torpedoes. At the same time, the fusion of deuterium and tritium releases 10 times more energy. So thermonuclear bombs are much more powerful than uranium or plutonium bombs. What's even more frightening is that there's no theoretical limit to the size and yield of a thermonuclear weapon. In 1961, in the USSR, a thermonuclear bomb with a capacity of 58 megatons was detonated on Novaya Zemlya. The power of the explosion was equivalent to the explosion of 58 million tons of trinitrotoluene, or TNT. Imagine 580,000 cargo rail cars filled with TNT, all blown up simultaneously. And initially, it had to be a 100 megaton bomb. But even 58 megatons is still 10 times more powerful than all the weapons, including bombs and mines, used during World War II. So what amounts of such a deadly weapon does humanity have at the moment? More than enough. The Nuclear Club is a term used for the group of nations who possess thermonuclear weapons, and the leaders of this club are Russia and the United States.
And you see the two big dogs. All right, he about to go into all these weapons now. I want to get this scripture. All right. When you go to Isaiah, all right, because I think he made mention of, it's not going to be from a higher power in the beginning of the video, but it will be from a higher power. And we know that's coming from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. He's the one, again, Isaiah 13:4. The Lord, the Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. Okay? Mean to call, to assign. This is what the Lord is doing. It's not on their own merits. Okay? It's not because they can press a button. All right? The Lord gave them all the intelligence, okay, to create all of these weapons of his indignation. Okay? This is the weapons of the Lord indignation. That's why I read that earlier. All right, but see, man think it's of them. No, it's biblical prophecy. Okay, that's why I went to declaring the end from the beginning. Okay, and then went to Habakkuk 2, which stated what? In the end it shall speak. All right, the vision is yet set for an appointed time. All right, so all of these things taking place was at an appointed time. All right, that's why in 1932 you wouldn't be hearing about, things of these natures was going on now. No, 1932, had its own time. Okay, you had to go through World War I first, then 2, now 3 coming. All right, it wasn't just gonna be World War I and then everything was gonna be destroyed and then the Lord come. No, everything had to fall in order. Okay, the dominoes got to fall in order. All right, and see, the Lord created all of these weapons, not man. The Lord gave them intelligence right here. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. See, the Lord created the waster to destroy. Okay. The Lord created the smith. Okay. You have something what was called a blacksmith. Okay. That creates, bends, metals, and works in metals and things. And I mean, the Lord created all of these scientists and people that specialize in making these nuclear weapons and all of these things. The Lord gave them that intelligence, man. Okay. to fulfill biblical prophecy. And as you can see right here, these are the two big dogs. All right. You got Gog, Magog, and you got Babylon the Great, man. All right.
About 90% of all nuclear warheads are owned by these two countries.
90%. See? 90%. He about to go into it. I'm going to let it play.
Russia has 5,977 nuclear warheads, and the US owns a total of 5,428 warheads in its military stockpiles. You can see the distribution of deadly weapons among other countries on the screen. For humanity, the situation...
All right, let me see. Yup. So that was the United Kingdom, France, Israel, Pakistan, India. I thought the Koreas might have had some because they've been testing missiles. Maybe he said nuclear thermal. Maybe they have different types, but this was 4 months ago, so it's not that old of a video. All right.
Situation doesn't look good. All countries that have nuclear weapons either increase their supply or leave it as it is. The only exception is the United States, and the figures only show the number of nuclear warheads intended for use atop strategic carriers with a range of several thousand kilometers. But there are also tactical nuclear munitions of small power, the TNT equivalent of which doesn't exceed a few kilotons and is often less than 1 kiloton. But this is still a lot. By modern standards, the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima and destroyed the city can be considered a tactical nuclear weapon. Its power was no more than 15 kilotons. To compare, the Russian SS-18 Satan intercontinental ballistic missile has 10 thermonuclear warheads on board, each with a capacity of 800 kilotons. So one such warhead is 53 times more destructive than that dropped on Hiroshima. This means that one Russian missile is 530 times more deadly than the first atomic bomb. The Russians have 46 such missiles as of 2022. Besides, Russia has already developed and tested the new RS-28 Sarmat missile that will replace the Satan, and it has to be even more effective. Aside from this, they also have Topol and Yars missiles. A total of 320 missiles are located in mines or on land vehicles. Plus, there are 176 missiles on Russian nuclear submarines of the Bore, Delphin, Akula, and Kalmar classes. But that's not all. Russia has 68 strategic bombers, the Tu-95 Bear and the Tu-160, also known as the White Swan, which all carry a total of 580 nuclear cruise missiles. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be a black swan for humanity. The United States has just about the same deadly arsenal, and now imagine that all this will be used against humanity. So how can a nuclear war begin, and how will it happen? Mankind has not experienced global horror like that during the Second World War for more than 70 years. Most of those who remembered the bombings and the fear that filled a person when everything around collapsed and burned aren't here anymore. These were times when there was no hope for even the slightest bit of medical care, and when people had to starve for weeks, months, or even years. And to keep warm, they had to burn their furniture and books. Modern people have only seen a nuclear war in computer games. Unfortunately, even some politicians don't understand all possible consequences, and this only increases the risk of nuclear.
Now you see them arrows, man. You see how they shoot. All right. Scriptures is undefeated. And I was in Joel too. All right. Starting at verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face, the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Because see, when them 200 million missiles is shot down, all right, what's going to happen is, because see, missiles have warheads on them, all right, and they have multiple warheads, all right, and see, these missiles, they're not going to break their ranks because the Spirit of the Lord going to be on them to do what they do. Verse 8, neither shall one thrust another. See, they shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. See? All right. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide in it? Nobody. Save the elect, Lord willing. We be a part of that number, man. Okay. But as you can see,
conflict. This is also facilitating computer games. Unfortunately, even some politicians don't understand all possible consequences, and this only increases the risk of nuclear conflict. This is also facilitated by the modern missile defense systems that the leading nuclear powers have. The Russian and American political elites attempted to destroy their main geopolitical enemy with a single missile strike and avoid counter.
Let me get this. All right. When you go to Jeremiah 50, this, but I want to kind of go to the point. Let me just Jeremiah 50 and 9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, see, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows she shall be as of a mighty expert man. See, none shall return in vain. All right. And see, Babylon, speaking about America. And then you have the great nations from the north country. All right. That's Russia and all that's with Russia as well. All right. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. All right. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, all ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as a heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. All right. See, the Lord's heritage was what? The Israelites, man. You was glad that we was down. You was glad to destroy us. Okay. Now, when you, verse 12, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. And see, that's speaking about what? Great Britain, because that's why it's the virgin daughter of Babylon. Because you know, it's saying the mother, because America come from Great Britain, come out of Great Britain. All right. Your mother shall be sore confounded. Okay. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nation shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited. And Salakia, I meant she was the virgin daughter of Babylon, because, you know, basically America is the revised Roman Empire. Okay, but here it's speaking about your mother shall be sore confounded, she that bare you, meaning because America came out of Great Britain. All right. But the way the system and its ideologies and how it do things is like Rome. Okay. It's basically like Rome. Okay. How they have a Senate, things of that nature. Okay. It's system. Okay. It's basically like revised Roman Empire. All right. That's what I meant by that. All right. Just, you know, for edification's sake. All right. Verse 13, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Every one that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Yeah, because when the Lord is through with America, it's not going to be inhabited, man. All right. It's going to be the place you look at like, don't be like that place. Don't do what they did. All right. That's going to be, you know, hey, that's going to be the place where we're going to be like, see, this is what happened when Esau was in power. Just look at that over there. That's what happened when you let them people be in power. You know, these Edomites, these so-called white people, the so-called white men. This is what happened, you know. All right, verse 14, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. See, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. See, bend that bow, man.
Counterattack, and this only increases the risk of nuclear conflict. This is also facilitated by the modern missile defense systems that the leading nuclear powers have. The Russian and American political elites attempted to destroy their main geopolitical enemy with a single missile strike and avoid counterattack by hiding behind a missile defense umbrella. Here, for example, is the Russian A-135 anti-missile system. It consists of a huge four-sided pyramid with a height of 33 to 35 meters, a side length of 130 to 144 meters at the base, and 90 to 100 meters along the roof. This is the Don 2N radar station that consists of 2 command.
We're not the only ones saying Casper mattresses are the best. Our original and Wave Hybrid were all awarded by
and control centers and up to 100 anti-missiles of long-range and short-range interception. All of them are equipped with nuclear warheads with a yield of up to 1.4 megatons. That is almost 5 times more powerful than the Satan warhead. The United States has a similar system that consists of several components. First of all, this is the ground-based mid-course defense system designed to intercept ballistic missiles with 44 anti-missiles. Also, the missile defense system includes the Aegis ballistic missile defense system that operates on warships. It's designed to destroy small and medium-range ballistic missiles. The third component is the THAAD mobile complex that provides advanced cover for military bases and strategic facilities from small and medium-range ballistic missile warheads entering the atmosphere. The capabilities of the complex don't allow it to hit targets in outer space, though. Both the Russians and the Americans have anti-missile defenses that can destroy up to several dozen enemy missiles, but not hundreds, so a massive nuclear strike could break through this defense. Computer simulations show that if Russia detonates even 300 of its strategic warheads over the US metropolitan areas, there'll be about 78 million fatalities in the first half hour. In addition, the entire economic infrastructure of the country will be destroyed. The electricity grid, the internet, the food distribution system, the transport network, and the healthcare system. Everything necessary to sustain normal life will disappear.
Now, this is kind of one of the points I wanted to get. As you can see in these little crazy videos, I did a lesson, when we was watching the redacted video and the posters, and then they had like this little commercial with this black chick, this so-called black chick on there, letting giving you information what to do in the event of a nuclear strike. You see, that's all bullshit, excuse my language, okay? Because in real life, you're not going to be watching TV and being able to shower off and all of that. No. All right. Especially again this is going to be of biblical proportions. When they say that means it's going to be effed up. All right. You know what I'm saying? This is biblical prophecy, man. This is not nothing little where a nuclear strike happened and then you wait an hour or so and then you showering off and then you checking the TV, seeing what's going to be popping. No. So he about to go into it.
Here, and within a few minutes, the electricity grid, the internet, the food distribution system, the transport network, and the healthcare system. Everything necessary to sustain normal life will disappear. And within a few months after the attack, the vast majority of the US population will fall victim to starvation, radiation sickness, and epidemic diseases. The US attack on Russia has similar consequences, and if NATO is involved, the same fate would await most of Canada and Europe. Let's take a look in more detail at the consequences of a strike on New York, with just one Russian thermonuclear warhead that has a yield of 800 kilotons. Remember, the Russian Satan has 10 of them. Let's say the epicenter of the explosion was in Manhattan, in the center of Times Square. During the first second, a fireball with a radius of 1.15 kilometers will cover an area of 4.15 kilometers squared. Everything inside the fireball will instantly evaporate. And by looking at this photo taken in Hiroshima, you can see what would happen to people. This isn't a drawing. It's a photo of all that's left of an old man with a cane. The nuclear blast from the Hiroshima bomb was so powerful that objects and people in its path left behind black shadows. The intense heat and light bleached the concrete around the shadow, but people who would find themselves in this fiery circle would be still lucky. They would perish without feeling any pain. It would happen faster than electrical signals travel through the nerves to the brain. Following the light wave, there'll be a supersonic shock wave. Within a radius of 2.02 kilometers or an area of 12.8 kilometers squared, the overpressure will be 20 pounds per square inch. Under such pressure, heavy concrete buildings are seriously damaged or destroyed, and the mortality rate is nearly 100%. in a radius of 4.71 kilometers or an area of 69.6 kilometers squared, the overpressure will be 5 pounds per square inch. This pressure is enough to collapse most buildings. The height of the layer of debris will reach 10 meters, burying tens of thousands of unfortunate people under it. So, passing away immediately will be huge luck. There'll be fires in many places too. Then people within a radius of 9.7 kilometers or an area of 296 kilometers squared will receive burns of the 3rd degree from thermal radiation. In a radius of 10.9 kilometers, an area of 375 kilometers squared, damage to the lungs from overpressure will occur. And let's not forget about the invisible and silent killer, radiation. Within a radius of 2.43 kilometers, an area of 18.6 square kilometers, the dose of ionizing radiation will be at least 500 rem. Such a dose is fatal within 1 month in 50% of people, and 15% of survivors will eventually pass away from cancer. The total estimated number of fatalities in New York will be almost 1.8 million people, and the number of those with burns, injured, and heavily irradiated would reach over 2.8 million people. However, Satan may not have 10 warheads of 800 kilotons each, but one super thermonuclear warhead with a capacity of 25 megatons. If this thing explodes over New York, almost 5 million people will be gone. The fireball will have a diameter of almost 10 kilometers. This will also create a zone of continuous destruction with a pressure of more than 5 pounds per square inch and a diameter of 27 kilometers. The diameter of the thermal lesion, burns of the 3rd degree and above, would be 82 kilometers. But again, this is what would happen in case of a single strike. If the Russians decide to launch all their nuclear missiles, then the United States will cease to exist. And the same would happen.
Cease to exist. All right? We basically got that. Oh, Slacky. We basically got that in Joel. Okay? In Jeremiah. But yeah, man. You can go to Revelation. All right? Where it tells you about, basically how, Babylon has fallen, all right, in 1 hour, okay? Biblical prophecy. I ain't even got to get it. That's biblical prophecy, all right?
And to Russia. But what about the other regions that wouldn't be affected by a direct nuclear attack? Would life be possible there? First, background radiation will significantly increase due to the explosions of thousands of thermonuclear warheads. Nuclear power plants will make a big contribution too. After all, about 440 nuclear power reactors are currently operating on the planet, and this is thousands of tons of highly enriched uranium. The explosion of just one such reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine made an area of 2,600 square kilometers uninhabitable. And now multiply this figure by 440. This is about 1,150,000 kilometers squared, and these infected zones won't be located in any remote places but near large cities. But then, a war involving the entire US and Russian arsenals could release up to 150 teragrams or 150 million metric tons of soot into the upper atmosphere, bringing global average temperatures down to -8 degrees Celsius. In North America and Eurasia, temperatures will drop by 45 to 50 degrees Celsius.
And you see that thick smoke, all right? This is.
I've always wanted one of those cool retro-looking TVs to display in my office. I just think they look sweet, but they're really hard.
50.
The level's not seen since.
It said all that passed by her, okay? Where was that? 50-20. All right. It said, did I even get that yet? Hold on. Bear with me. No, I didn't get that one. But, Oh, yep, here we go, 13. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited. All right? Because ultimately, you know, of course, Babylon the Great going to be destroyed. Okay? It's going to be for the desert creatures. All right? Everyone that goes by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. All right? Again, Jeremiah 50:25, the Lord, okay, have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, man. All right. See? So, you know, I'm just reading down because, you know, this whole chapter is good. All right. This whole chapter is good. But see, this is the work of the Lord. All right. And when this time come, because they went into an example if Russia opened up their whole armory. All right. See, when that time come, this is going to be the work of the Lord, as well as everybody else that's going to get hit. Because, again, when you go to Joel, all right, 2nd chapter. No, Salakia, Joel, the 3rd chapter, okay, is going into what? The valley of Jehoshaphat, all right, the Lord's judgment, okay, because all these heathen, Russia not going to, you know, ride off in the sunset, or China or India. No, they all going to be brought to the place to get judged, all right, because of what? Their sins. All right. And plus how they did Israel. All right. Us, the children of Israel. Lord willing, we just be a part of that number. All right.
It's the last ice age. And this will 150 million metric tons of soot into the upper atmosphere, bringing global average temperatures down to -8 degrees Celsius. In North America and Eurasia, temperatures will drop by 45 to 50 degrees Celsius, the levels not seen since the last ice age. And this will lead to a catastrophic reduction in food production and starvation that could wipe out most of humanity. In addition, there'll be no electricity. All power plants will be destroyed, no gasoline and no diesel fuel. Oil refineries will be ruined. And if Russians hit the Yellowstone supervolcano with some kind of large thermonuclear bomb, it would provoke its eruption. This alone, without other nuclear strikes, can become a disaster for the United States because it would suffer most from such an impact. On the spot where once was the national park, there would be a huge hole, and extreme volumes of ash would fall on North America. Volcanologist Robin George Andrews believes that this would lead to problems with agriculture. The ash would clog engines, disable power lines, and pollute the water supply. According to his colleague, professor at the University of Cambridge, Clive Oppenheimer, the atmosphere would be filled with such thick ash that a volcanic winter could begin. If this happens, sulfur dioxide will block the sunlight, the continent will freeze and plunge into darkness, and this is not to mention Russian Poseidon nuclear torpedoes.
Now you see, Babylon the Great, all right? When you go to Isaiah 13, all right? Starting at verse 19, it says, "In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah." And I did a video as well on, you know, they still had the, when Lot's wife was that pillar of salt, all right, turned into that, you know, they still had the remains, okay? But see, this is what's going to happen here. It's going, as you can see, they kind of going into it. As when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, verse 20, "It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent here." No, you ain't going to have none of them Arabs over here selling Lucy's. All right. "Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. See, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. See, and Esau, Edom, he already know he on the clock. That's why going to Revelation 12, it says what? The devil has come down with great wrath, paraphrasing, because he know he have but a short time. Okay, this devil know he on the clock. But see, you see it won't be inhabited. All right. Once Babylon fall, it's a wrap. The Edomites are not going to say, oh, let's go back and build the desolate places. No, it's going to be wrapped. Their rulership going to be over with, and they're going to be in slavery, man. Okay? Never to rise to power again. All right? Biblical prophecy.
Torpedoes. In case of a nuclear war, these will be sent to the west and east coasts of the United States and, when exploded, form a tsunami that would hit the country's coastal infrastructure. Also, some nuclear strikes would be aimed at industrial, scientific, and administrative centers. Almost the entire industrial and scientific potential would be destroyed. In other words, survivors would find themselves in the Middle Ages. And even people lucky enough to survive would be plagued by diseases caused by high radiation background levels. As a result, barely any healthy offspring will be born. So, people who expect to survive a nuclear apocalypse on some tropical islands or in Siberia are deluded. Their life will turn into a struggle for survival. So within 1, at most 2 generations or 50 years, humanity would either disappear completely or at least the world population would significantly decrease in number. Whatever the case, this would mean the end of modern civilization.
The end.
The only chance...
You see? All right. We can go to Revelation. Starting at the top, it says, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. See? The end. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast, okay, and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the hearts of the Most High. All right. You see? And that's the elect, man. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the song of the Lamb, okay, that's Yahweh Shah, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord power almighty. All right. Allah shot you, man. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. All right. And the saints are referring to the Israelites, man. The elect of the Israelites. Okay. See, the end game for America is to be through. All right. That's the end game. Esau done. And his rulership is coming to an end. All right. And you hear they talked about diseases and things of that nature. All right. Man, this, Revelation 18 and verse 3, it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All right. And that wine is speaking about, her America philosophies and doctrines. OK, because you can go anywhere on the planet, basically, and it's kind of been influenced by what's happening over here in America, man. All right. And when people move from their countries over here to America, they get influenced, of course. All right. That's why you would have a lady that was in Saudi Arabia. She was covered up from head to toe, but now she over here in little shorts or skin tight jeans, and she just rocking the hijab now. All right. But everything else is revealing. All right. That's why them women, I was going to do a video on it, a lesson on it, how the women is protesting over there because of that woman. She got killed. All right. For not, wearing her hijab. So now they burning them up, man. All right. And all that stemmed from is now that you have social media, internet access all around the planet, them women over there, they want the freedom to, live their best life like the women over here. They seeing what the women over here is doing. And it's spreading like a damn disease, an airborne disease. Now they want to have, their freedoms, basically. All right. It ain't doing nothing but amping them up. All right. So verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. All right. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right. You have, because America is not really a producer like China, Taiwan, things of that nature. All right. But when they produce and then they make a killing over here, And I heard another voice, verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. All right. And hey, that's what the brothers is preaching, okay, every day to you Israelites, man. Come out of Babylon the Great and her ways. Repent, okay, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right. And see, that's where we're going to be in rulership under our Lord Yahweh Shah. All right. That's why it was a marvelous thing what the Heavenly Father did by sending Yahweh Shah and Yahweh Shah completing the task of going up on that cross. OK, so we can be reconciled back to the Heavenly Father for breaking the law, statutes and commandments. All right. That's why repentance is necessary. OK, because in the world to come, Israel going to be on top. OK, now, Esau going to be at the bottom. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto the heaven, for the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Right. You know what I'm saying? Buku of sins. And we like to go on, we like to talk about, the transatlantic slave trade and, which was treacherous. But see, we've been in a lot of captivities. We don't even remember the massacres and the rape, robberies and pillage of even dating back, man. That's the Lord remember all the way back from our first captivity. He remember all of that. All right. Verse 6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her work. See, and these devils going to get double, man. In the cup which she have filled, fill to her double. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. See, this the end game. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow. I shall see no sorrow. Right. And that's what I was going into in Ezekiel 38, when it says, go into the land of the unwalled villages. OK, the land that is at rest. OK, because see, America, haven't been rocked like a lot of these other countries. All right. And America has an abundance, man. You can come over here, and even if you basically in the poor class, you still live a certain type of way versus other countries. All right. See, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow. I shall see no sorrow. And these Edomites, they think they're going to reign forever. They think they're going to be on top forever, man. OK, verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. See, and my man went into it in that video. All right, it was showing you a little preview, a little tape, Now, we can never really fully know what's going to pop off, but they can, do their by their scientific estimates and, knowledge of what happens when nuclear weapons go off. They can tell you a little something. But see, it's going to be far beyond what anybody believe or what you can calculate. All right. For strong is the Lord power who judges her. See, for strong is the Lord power who judges her. All right. Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. All right. All these nations and these leaders and lead with Babylon the Great as well. All right. But you Edomites, period, and you other nations, that's who it's speaking about, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Right. They ain't going to be able to get no more bacon. They ain't going to be able to go get no more bread off this boy no more. The whore going to be done. It ain't going to be no more pimping her out. All right, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. See, you know? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. See? No more. It's going to be done. All right? So I'm going to play the last little bit.
Of survival and long life would be given to those who started the nuclear horror, the political leaders of Russia, the United States, and some other countries. They've already prepared special bunkers located hundreds of meters underground.
You get up, see, and that's again. Of course, now, see, a lot of these elites, you know, they going to have those bunkers, and they going to be set up to be what? The first fruits. Let's get that. Because, see, they think they going to escape their destiny, but no, it ain't going to. Now, let me just see something real quick, because there's two that I want to get. Wait, I might have to. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. No, it's another one that I wanted to get. I think that's in, oh, yep. The Wadi Yahabashim Yahusha. I think this, oh, yeah, let me see. I think this, no, that's not it. Dang, where is, let me see, just bear with me, y'all, 1 second. I'm trying to find. I did a lesson on this. Dang, I gotta find. I'm trying to find the right way to word it. I just did a lesson on that some weeks ago too. Cause see, they got them bunkers. Now I know, matter of fact, let me just get the other one then. I already know. All right, so when you go to Revelation 6, it says what? And the kings of the earth, all right, and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, all right, because they got a lot of these mountain retreats as well, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, all right, that's speaking about the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and from the wrath of the Lamb, that's speaking about Yahweh Shah. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? No one, all right? Nobody say the elect, all right? And even you devils that, survive, you're going to be set up to be pulled out, okay? And that's the scripture I'm going to get, Lord will. You're going to be grabbed, and you're going to be the first fruits of slavery, All right.
With everything necessary for life, the political leaders of Russia, the United States, and some other countries. They've already prepared special bunkers located hundreds of meters underground with everything necessary for life. But this, of course, will only help if they manage to hide there in time. The bunkers are designed to withstand a direct hit from a nuclear weapon. According to a report made by the US Department of Defense Intelligence Service, Vladimir Putin has 2 huge bunkers. The political elite of Russia should hide in these super secure structures if a nuclear war breaks out. Pentagon experts say the 2 bunkers can hold up to 10,000 people in total. One of these huge bunkers, at a depth of 300 meters, is located under the Kremlin, and another one isn't far from Lomonosov Moscow State University. The bunkers store supplies of food, fuel, oxygen, communications equipment, first aid posts, and other systems necessary to support life. People there can live for several months after a nuclear attack. Another important...
And you see brothers, was doing different lessons on these bunkers. All right. But see, man, you Edomites and the rest of you nations, man, y'all ain't going to be able to offset prophecy. All you preppers and all that shit gonna come to naught, man. Because if the Lord want to get you, no matter what you got, he gonna get you. All right. Only the elect really will be saved from this destruction that's prophesied to come. Okay. And again, all of you so-called whites, you Edomites, all of you elites, all of y'all who do be saved, well, y'all set up to be the first fruits of slaves, man. All right. So,
object, according to the American press, is allegedly located in the Ural Mountains. This is the legendary mountain Yamantau. Beneath it, there's a secret underground bunker, or more precisely, an entire city. Experts say it's designed for the simultaneous residence of 300,000 people. To compare, this is just about the population of Pittsburgh or Anchorage. In this underground complex, which is divided into so-called houses, all the necessary infrastructure has been created, communications have been connected, and life support systems have been established. It has all the conditions for people to stay in this underground city for at least 6 months without coming out to the surface. A similar infrastructure exists in the United States, but just on a smaller scale. So would this handful of people be able to revive humanity? Of course not. Almost all the knowledge gained by people throughout thousands of years of history will sink into oblivion. Nuclear war means the end of the current human history. Humanity will either perish within 1 or 2 generations, or be thrown back centuries. There will be no winners in a nuclear war. We must clearly understand this and realize that we've come too close to the edge of the abyss. What do you think about this? Can we prevent taking this last fatal step? Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
All right, and that's pretty much it. I'm still trying to find the scripture that I wanted. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm still trying to find it. Where is... Yep. Here we go. I found it. The body of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right. I knew it was in Amos. All right, so when you go to Amos, right? I'm going to just get to the point. Verse 2, it says, though they dig into hell, all right, and that's, not talking about where you burn forever. That's just speaking underground. Because, again, you see where they had those underground lavish bunkers, those lavish underground bunkers, which they have, okay? Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them, though they climb up to the heaven, okay? Because, see, a lot of them could go out into space. Because when you go into heaven, that's speaking about, into the sky, which will be the first heaven. And then like outer space will be second heaven. All right. Then, of course, the third heaven is where, our Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua dwell. Our Lord, the Heavenly Father, the basically the spiritual realm. OK. Though they climb up to heaven, that's not talking about where the Heavenly Father is at, okay? That's speaking about in space. They got space stations and all these things to try to escape, Okay. Thence will I bring them down. See? And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, okay, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight at the bottom of the sea, see, because they be having these, you never know what the elites and all of them got. They can have submarines that can be under the water for a certain periods of time, man. Okay, to escape. They got all types of things. They got mountain retreats, like I was saying, that's going into the top of Carmel. Okay, I will search and take them out. See, and though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And though they go into captivity before their enemies, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them. And I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good, man. But see, the point I was trying to make is, though they dig into hell in verse 2, see, even though they got them underground bunkers, what's going to happen? Thence shall my hand take them, okay? And the Heavenly Father is not going to come down and, turn into, materialize to a big dude and come and grab him. No, he's going to have his men do that. All right. See, though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. All right. Because when everything pop off, all these satellite space stations, all that shit going to come to naught, man. Excuse my language. All right. So now I want to get this because, you had, of course you had, wait, let me see. Yup, here we go. See, it's always on war. North Korea fired missiles over Japan. All right, and this was just yesterday.
Air raid sirens ringing out across Tokyo, warning residents of an incoming missile fired by North Korea. The projectile flew directly over Japan before crashing into the Pacific Ocean. It's the first time Pyongyang has launched a ballistic missile over its neighbour in 5 years. The Japanese Prime Minister labelled it, quote, barbaric, and said his government is right now working out a response with the United States and South Korea. Tonight, Seoul and Washington conducted precision bombing drills showing off their capabilities. Our foreign minister calling the test reckless and unacceptable. Let's go to Tokyo, where
You heard that eerie sound, man. All right. Matter of fact, I could have stayed right there, but Amos 3:6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? See, the Lord is doing all of this, man. All right. That's why the name of this video is "The War Drums Are Sounding." Okay. But see, we understand what's going on. That's why when I went to the redacted video and what's that girl, Laura Haven, I believe her name is, they want peace. Oh, we peace. But see, when you go to verse 7, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. See, and we have the secrets. We have the mysteries. We know what's going on according to the scriptures, man. And that's a blessing. All right. See, because the Lord basically called us out of darkness, man. That's why we know what time it is. We know what's going on. That's why we know it's not going to be peace talks among the U.S. and Russia and everybody just going to, go back and be like, hey, let bygones be bygones. No, that's not about to happen. All right.
Joined by correspondent Chris Gilbert. Chris, this was a very rare moment. Residents told to take cover as the missile was hurtling towards them. How much has this escalated the situation in the region?
Well, it is very shocking for everyone here in Japan. The people are very used to missiles being launched regularly by North Korea, but to have one actually fly over the country, as you said, is a very rare event. And so it has escalated tensions with neighbors like North Korea, China and Russia. Japan is used to a regular hum of tension, but today this was definitely a spike. Pyongyang is saying that it fired this missile in response to ongoing U.S., South Korea, and Japan military drills in the region just last week. It also said it felt provoked by the visit of U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris the other week. And really, the main thing here is also ongoing concerns, especially from South Korea, that the North Koreans may be preparing yet another nuclear test in the coming months, maybe even before the end of the year.
We're hearing the missile flew 4,600 kilometres. That's the longest distance ever travelled by a North Korean missile. Is that
you see, so that happened. And then after that, this happened. All right. Let's go to the article first. U.S. and South Korea test fire missiles in continued response after North Korea launch. See? All right. The United States and South Korea launched 4 missiles off the east coast of the Korean Peninsula on Wednesday morning local time, according to South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff. See, the test was the Allies' second exercise in under 24 hours following a provocative test launch Tuesday morning by neighboring North Korea. See, which fired a ballistic missile without warning over Japan in a significant escalation of its weapons testing program. See, the U.S. and South Korea initially responded to the provocation with a precision bombing exercise on Tuesday, which involved a South Korean F-15K fighter jet firing 2 air-to-surface munitions at a virtual target in a firing range west of the Korean Peninsula, per South Korean Joint Chiefs. All right. And I got a little video on that because, as you can see in this article, this video is not playing because my internet messing up right now. I think my data. So let's see. Here is what it was right here on CNN. That video.
So, Brenda, did you get your car fixed after your fender bender?
No, not yet, Linda. I'm still looking for a Lenza.
You know, with...
North Korea caused terror throughout Japan earlier this morning when the rogue regime launched a ballistic missile over Japanese airspace. This is the first time in 5 years that the North Koreans have been bold enough to fly a missile over their neighbors to the east, and it's the most recent of 23 North Korean missiles conducted.
And you see, he said bold enough, and that's what did I get earlier? Because, like I said, you know, the scriptures are speaking. All right. Oh yeah, that's first. All right. Proclaim, Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. See? And that's what that's, you know, you have these nations that wouldn't be as bold years back. Now they're becoming more bold, even including Russia. Okay? It's all biblical prophecy, man.
This year, the U.S. has...
But see, again, Isaiah 13, what's that? Isaiah 13:4, where it says what? The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. See? The Lord is stirring this all up, man. Okay? That's why you had North Korea. They did their little test. Then the U.S. and South Korea, they came back with a test to show them, you know, it's akin to 2 niggas beefing. Okay? Talking smack. You know, when somebody might do something petty, then you know the other person got to do something petty. You know what I'm saying? To show them that, you know, you ain't punking me out. All right. But either way, the war drums is beating. You know, it's in the air, man. Okay. World War III is looming.
Condemn today's launch. President Biden spoke with Japan's prime minister today and reiterated his, quote, ironclad commitment to Japan's defense. But as CNN's Will Ripley reports, this surprise missile test comes amid a deeply unsettling time for the region.
Across Japan, a chilling and familiar sound. From Hokkaido in the north to the streets of central Tokyo. Tuesday began with an ominous emergency message.
You see, and that's that, and that's why I got what I got from Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people be not afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? See? You see what I'm saying?
An incoming missile from North Korea, minutes away.
When it hit the fan, all right, and you know, over here they get that eerie sound of nuclear threat. It's gonna be so eerie, man. Everybody you be afraid, okay? People gonna be shook, man. All right, it's gonna be an eerie sound. It ain't gonna be like an ice cream truck. It's gonna be eerie. You know, if you ever heard a tornado warning, I know I heard them before. It's eerie, but see, that nuclear one gonna be even more eerier. All right, because like in a tornado, you can take cover. You know, you have a somewhat of hope. But see, with this, it's going to be a wrap, all right?
Similar warning 5 years ago, in 2017, the last time North Korea launched a missile over Japan. This time, it flew more than 20 minutes, passing Japanese airspace at 17 times the speed of sound. The missile traveled more than 2,800 miles, farther than any of this year's 23 missile tests. Japan calls it an act of violence.
And I think what it tells us is the North Koreans are in no mood to talk. They're in the mood of testing and blowing things up.
Why?
Well, I think the North Koreans tried their hand at diplomacy in the Trump administration. They didn't get what they wanted.
Now, an unprecedented testing binge, accelerating ever since U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris visited the heavily armed DMZ, dividing North and South Korea.
In the North, we see a brutal dictatorship, rampant human rights violations, and an unlawful weapons program that threatens peace and stability.
Kamala Harris at the DMZ said, "We call for complete denuclearization from this brutal dictatorship." It sounds like the same language they've been using for years.
Absolutely. Denuclearization is now, I think, in the dustbin of history as a failed policy. There's simply no practical plan at this point, especially in the short term, to bring North Korea to the negotiating table and to pursue denuclearization.
A crisis that just got
you
even
see?
more.
Let me get that again.
Rampant human rights violations and an unlawful weapons program that threatens peace and stability.
Kamala Harris at the DMZ said, "We call for
hypocritical.
complete denuclearization from this brutal dictatorship." It sounds like the same language they've been using for years.
Absolutely. Denuclearization is now, I think, in the dustbin of history as a failed policy. There's simply no practical plan at this point, especially in the short term, to bring North Korea to the negotiating table and to pursue denuclearization.
And that's because the Lord is stirring it up. The Lord don't want that, okay? It ain't gonna be no peace among these nations, man. Everybody gonna choose their side according to the scriptures, and it's gonna go down, all right?
A crisis that just got even more real. Last week, South Korea, the U.S., and Japan held anti-submarine exercises, the first of their kind in 5 years. Hours after Tuesday's launch, the U.S. and South Korea staged a precision bombing exercise, a cycle analysts say will likely escalate in the coming months. What can we expect between now and then?
Well, there's a lot of things that North Korea is going to do, I think, in the next few months. We're probably going to see a nuclear weapons test.
Experts say instead of calling for denuclearization, the focus now should be on risk reduction, preventing a crisis from spiraling out of control.
And again, they think they can take preventive measures, all right, but it's not going to happen, all right?
And that is a very dangerous possibility given that Kim Jong-un...
And that's pretty much the point. You know, so I just wanted to bring this out for you brothers and sisters, all right? So, you know, the war drums is beating, okay? The wars, the rumors of wars, all right? You see the prophecies are speaking. It's an exciting time, but you know, it's still, you know, we got to be circumspect because it's dangerous times, okay? And it's finna get bad out here, okay? But see, you know, we got the Lord on our side, all right? We got the Lord on our side. He is our Redeemer, okay? And Lord willing, we be a part of that number, okay? So Lord willing, this was edifying. To the next lesson. Shalom.